This is a big boy. This is like a 6x60 of the Rocky Patel Black Swan. I don't even know what the deal is with these. There's like 4 or 5 different brands that make a Black Swan. Um, at first, I thought it was an exclusive for Cigar Page, but I think it might be bigger than that, but I don't know. But here we are. Usually at this time, I would sit here. I have my Fios Fire Stick, and I play online poker while I smoke. But I figured I would do a live chat because I'm poking out for the day. I came in the money in 2 tournaments from earlier smoking, and I shot a short for my channel, and I shot a lesson that's going up tomorrow afternoon. I don't teach on Monday, so it's pretty much my day. I can get stuff done. Well, and feel like I have to. Otherwise, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Saturday I gig, so I call that work. This is a 6x60. I tend to not like 60 ring gauge cigars. They're a little too big. There's a few blends where I'm like, the blend is better in the 60, even though I'm not fond of a 60. I think the Kintsugi by Alec Bradley, or Alec and Bradley. The Kintsugi is better in a 60 ring gauge, and the Hot Cake is better in the 60 ring gauge. And this is my first time trying the Rocky Patel Black Swan in a 6x60. Usually I usually smoke a 52, which is a smaller ring gauge, which I like. 52 is the best. I like a Toro or a wide Robusto, but yeah, I smoked the Hoyo de Nicaragua Black Swan earlier today. And right off the rip, I definitely like this one better. Which is funny because I'm not a huge Rocky Patel fan. I think there are some cigars that he makes, like the Edge. Um, there's an anniversary model. I think it's the 20th, maybe. I like, and I also like the Corojo, the Sumatra, and the Habano. And other than that, I don't love his line. I like it. I had the Grand Reserve last week. I thought the Grand Reserve was okay, but not worth the dollars. Not worth the price. Hey, Dave from Chicago, any new bands that have come on your radar and pique your interest? Not really. I listen to mainly Spotify now, and I make my own playlists. So what happens is I'll end up like today it was country music. I was listening to nothing but old country. Um, the last few weeks it's been a lot of prog. I just did a deep dive into prog. I don't love a lot of prog, but I love some of it. And and then I made a playlist of my favorite songs from 1981. Why 1981? I don't know. There was like 3 came on in a row, and I was like, man, that was like 13 when this came out, which was 81. And so I made my 1981 favorite songs that came that year. Songs like you never hear anymore, like Winning Man by Crocus. I used to love Winning Man. When you mention it to people, they're like, I know Screaming in the Night. It's like, yeah, but a couple of years before that, they had a minor radio hit. It was on BCN here when I was a kid. Billy Squire was 81. Judas Priest Point of Entry was 81. Fair Warning from Van Halen, 81. Devo New Traditionalist was 81. For Those About to Rock. And Dirty Deeds was released in the States in 81. It was released here the same year they released For Those About to Rock. Apparently in Australia it was released in 76, but we didn't get it here till 81. And I got it that year when I was 13. I remember it clearly. But if you remember a couple of years ago, everyone was like, oh, Greta Van Fleet, they're great. People are haters. No, they suck. And they still suck, and they disappeared, which is what I expected. You never hear anything from them, and no one cares. They were young and came out and did their shtick, and everybody was like, oh, gaga. And then the honeymoon's over, folks. The band stinks. Take a parting gift. We gave you, here's some rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat, and we'll give you the copy of the board game. Now get the hell lost. Yep, Rush. So I've really been listening to a lot of Rush Hemispheres, Farewell to Kings, Yes's Drama, and Yes's Close to the Edge, um, ELP, Brain Salad Surgery. I really love ELP's Carnival 9 Part 1. I think is the best. I love that. I like it way better than the radio hit Part 2, because I think Part 2 misses the best part, that intense vocal and guitar line in the beginning, bass line in the beginning of Part 1 is so awesome. What other prog? Asia. I think the first Asia album is underrated. Yeah, it had a couple of pop hits, but that was a Time Again and Soul Survivor were great. And the rest of the record's great. And a lot of Genesis. I'm listening to a lot of Foxtrot, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and Selling England by the Pound. And I actually like the first Phil Collins singing in Genesis, Trick of the Tail. I think it's a great record. I love Squonk. I think that's one of their better records. And of course, I love Abacab. Oh, you know what I did? I listened to Duke, I think, a week ago. And I enjoyed Duke a lot. I didn't know that album that well, but I thought everything on it was good. Um, it's funny because when I go to sleep, sometimes I'll try to put on something like on YouTube just to, if it's like talking, and I couldn't even get through it the other night where I was listening to Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, which is the basis for Watcher of the Skies by Genesis. But I find it, the story, just so boring. So boring. Yeah, I was 13. I don't remember any of that. All I remember about 81 was I was 13. Um, and all that great music was coming out. It was like Iron Maiden, Killers, uh, Journey Escape. Man, it was a great year for music. I think it might be the second best year for music, right behind 1980. Yeah, I mean, back then it was the guys were writing songs, and you'd let a song develop. And we're in the world today of people want instant gratification, instant happiness. I mean, it's like fucking, well, you swipe away, you know what I mean? And so now we live in the absolute era of don't bore us, get to the chorus. And music suffers. Music's dead as far as I'm concerned. We have to live in the past. There's a lot of quantum physicists out there that'll tell you all time is happening at once. So that's the only way I could say music's not dead, because we can keep listening to music from back in the day. But as far as I'm concerned, like today's music is just fucking garbage. Pedestrian, boring. Every female singer sounds the same. They all try to use that affected voice that bothers me to no end. I mean, when Maria Moldova came out with Midnight at the Oasis, could you imagine if every singer after that started trying to be her and everyone just did that affected voice? It would be miserable. But that's what goes on today. Yeah, it's just terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. And the music doesn't have any quality to it. There's nothing like now that's not to say you can find like you can listen to Snarky Puppy and stuff like that. Those guys are fantastic. Yeah, there's music being made today, but I'm talking about in the general sense, like now it's like you really have to go hunt and find it. And then what I say is a lot of people might not be familiar with Foxtrot by Genesis. Um, I say go look out some of these old bands that put out records that you may not know, and you'll find some unbelievable stuff in there. Selling England by the Pound's great. I mean, I really wish somebody would go in and remix Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and fix the audio on it, because I just don't think it's a great recording. It might be able to be fixed, but I mean, it's decent. It's I just think the sound quality, it almost reminds me of like Kiss Hotter Than Hell. Like you listen to the first album, you listen to Dress to Kill, and then when you listen to Hotter Than Hell, it's like, why does everything sound like it has a film over it? It just sounds bad. Like whoever recorded it didn't know what the hell they were doing. Yeah, Foxtrot's awesome. It's great. It really is. Those guys were great, super creative. I mean, Tony Banks is definitely an underrated writer. I mean, even stuff like on Abacab, songs like what's that? Wow, 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 dun, 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 oh, Keep It Dark. I love Keep It Dark. That's great. Hey, Sean, what's happening? Just sitting here doing a live. Smoking a Rocky Patel Black Swan 6x60. It's good. Good cigar. Again, I had the first solo record. That was 1980. The Michael Schenker. MSG is 81, and I like that one even better. I think MSG is his best solo record. Although I think the first album, what is that one that starts off with like that steel drum sound? Victims of Illusion. Yeah, that's a great record. I think the three Michael Schenker group albums that have Gary Barden are fantastic. I love Built to Destroy from '84. I love, or is it '83? I think it might be '84. I love MSG in the first album. Now, Assault Attack with Graham Bonnet, I think is a great record too. I think it's better than the Rainbow record that Graham Bonnet did, Down to Earth. I don't think it's as good as the Alcatraz first record, but I think it's still a great record. But it doesn't compare to the three with Gary Barden, in my opinion. But I like Desert Song, Dancer. I mean, it's a great record. There's no getting around it. Schenker was great. I even like Schenker on the last UFO album that he did, which was Obsession. I don't think I think Lights Out is a good record. I don't think it's a great record. And everything else before that, I just find to be middle of the road. But I think Obsession is a really great UFO record. And then, of course, I think all the Michael Schenker albums I think are better of those first four. When Macaulay came in the band and he became like, he's that high type of singer, I have no interest in listening to that. Oh, is Simon Phillips on Sin After Sin? Sin After Sin isn't my favorite record. I think that's what, 76, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It was the second album, right? 74 is Rock and Roller. 76 is, or is it Sad Wings? Hmm. I always forget which one's first. I think Sin After Sin is 76, right? And Sad Wings is 77, or is it backwards? Yeah, ELP was awesome. I mean, everybody in that band is just a great musician. Totally. I mean, Greg Lake is not only a great guitar player, but what a hell of a bass player, too. He was great. Okay, this is a lot better than the cigar I had today. I had the Hoyo de Nicaragua Black Swan, which I did a short of. Did I put it on YouTube? It's on my other YouTube. It's on DL Cigar and Pipe. But and then I put it on my it's on my Facebook story. I like Tull. I mean, I like Aqualung. I like Thick as a Brick, although it's one song. But I do like the whole side. I like, well, side two is pretty good. But I like side one of Thick as a Brick, the Thick as a Brick part one. She da 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 da. Yeah, no, Tull was great. I love the Teacher. Well, they call the Teacher. Yeah, Tull was great. Man, there were so many 70s bands that was great. Kansas was a great prog band. I think the album Song for America or Mask, those two records are fantastic. Their second and third album, great. Um, let me think what else. Yeah, I listen to everything, so I go through cycles. Like right now, I'm listening to country would be what I saw Kansas in '83 at the Stanley in Utica. So '83, they would have had John Elefante singing, who I love. He still sounds great. But that was '83 was the tour where they did play the game tonight. Can you tell me if it wait. Is that album 81 or 82? I think that's 82, that album. So yeah, that would have been 83. And then maybe 83, did they do the Fight Fire with Fire album? I forget the name of that record. Not Power, that was the album in 86. What the hell was the name of it? Drastic Measures? Was that 83? You tell me, did they do Fight Fire with Fire? Because now that I think about it, Play the Game might have been 82. But I thought they toured that 83 in the next album. Yeah, who knows? You know. For some reason, I wanted to sing, "It's not the same when I look in your eyes," but that's a Gary Moore tune off Corridors of Power. I'm always gonna love you. Great record. Great record. Drastic Measures, yeah. Play the Game Tonight, 82. Hey, Cold Roses, what's going on? Yeah, there weren't many American bands, but Kansas was great. And I would say they were maybe less eclectic as bands like Yes, but no less eclectic than Rush. I feel like Rush kind of had their thing they did. Kansas did their thing. Kansas was great. I would definitely not short shrift them in the conversation. They're one of my favorite prog bands. Songs like Song for America, I will take over mostly any other prog band's tunes. I love that song. And this, I think The Devil's Game is on that album. Great song. They were great. And, I think, again, I think that gets overlooked in a lot of ways. I think Phil Ehart was an awesome drummer. The Wall's great. Wall's later, though, right? Like 80. The Wall was like right before what's his name split? Steve Walsh. Yeah, Magna. Oh, it's awesome. 100%. Yeah, Magnum Opus is awesome. That's on Mask too, right? That's Mask. Mask, I think, has Magnus Opus. It also has, if I'm not mistaken, I think The Pinnacle is on that album. And Born on Wings of Steel, Icarus. That's a great song. Great record. Yeah. Oh, Magnus Opus is on Left Overture. So that's 76 with oh yeah, I think I just listened, I must have listened to that in the last month. The Carry On is on that record. Yeah, that one I always forget what's on that record for some reason. What's the song I'm thinking of that's on Mask? Oh, is it Something in Mayhem? What is that song? There's like two back to back on there that are. Uh, I gotta be honest with you. I have a little Mustang Fender modeling amp that's next to my mic because I use that room to teach. And all the other times I was using the tone that I use when I give lessons, but I needed something that had a little bit more ear pushing, and I just turned the knob to one of the presets. And I could tell you there's a little bit of Mysteries and Mayhem, yeah. And I could tell you there was a little bit of delay on it and a bit of gain. Um, but if you leave a comment on one of my last videos asking me, I'll look it up and I'll look up what's the preset, what it has on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a great record, Mask. That is a great record. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, so that guitar tone, and it's probably like a copy of like a Marshall. Um, that little Mustang amp, you can find them used on Marketplace. And the cool thing about them is, I don't know if you guys remember when I used to do the solo videos where the sound quality was really good. I would just have it USB into my computer, and the sound was like whatever I wanted it to fake like. It was perfect. It's those amps are great. I mean, people sit there and they talk about modeling, and I saw a video recently, like a short, and I can't remember if it was TikTok or YouTube, where a guy was saying, "Oh, our ears can tell digital from analog." No, you can't. It's such a nonsense thing to say. If that was the case, then I mean, none of it makes any sense because when you're putting a record on a needles, it's like, or you got a CD. It's no, you cannot. And if you could, you would. Yeah, I remember years ago when ZZ Top used to go out on the road. This is like 2010, and they would have different amps on the stage by the side of the stage. But he was playing through an 11, Digidesign 11. He was playing just all digital going in, but he would have amps on stage, so it looked like he was playing amps. And he would use different amps on stage. I think I don't know if it was to try to be funny, um, but yeah, he was playing through 11. I mean, and granted, what I think one of the greatest guitar tones of all time is Tres Hombres, which is his Les Paul plugged right into like a brown face. I think it's a brown face deluxe. And I think John Suhr made a knockoff of his amp called the Ombre. And I don't know if he's still, you can order it, but I'm sure you can find it used. But that was supposed to be the Ombre, the modeled after the Fender brown face amp that Billy used on Tres Hombres. I was driving to my gig last Friday, and I forget what mix I had on from my Spotify, but Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers came on. And I was like, forget the tone, the sound of the band, everything about that tune is just effing awesome. That is just great rock and roll, you know, just great. What we would give to have a band come out and sound like that today. Just a colossal sound. Every note that he plays counts. You know. The other thing is, whatever that amp was that I was using, I'm using that yellow Strat, and I had it on the neck pickup. And oh, and I will say this: whatever sound I had it on when I switched it around, it was really dark and sounded underwater on the neck pickup, so I turned the treble way up. And then that pulled it back just a hair. I had it just at the peak where I just wanted it to be a little bright, and but still sound like the neck pickup. I literally did that video in 2 seconds. I probably could have done it better, but I'm like, what am I going to sit here and spend 10 hours just to make a fucking video? So literally, I just go play it and I'm done with it. I literally did it right after I recorded my lesson. I have a lesson coming out tomorrow. I did a lesson on Cheap Trick's The Flame. So The Flame will come out tomorrow. Just because we added it and I figured it's an easy song. It's kind of utilizes a cool chord technique with the 2 open high E and B strings. So I did a lesson on that. And then I was done. I'm like, yeah, let me just do a quick short on cross picking. But I watch it after and I'm like, ugh, I could have done it better. But whatever. Some of the stuff is usually after I teach a lesson and I had to go over something and I'm like, oh, you know what, let me make a quick little short about this, like how to use the double diminished scale. Or I gave a lesson to a guy and it was about the double diminished scale. Anyways, he went back to his job and the guy who he works with went to Berkeley and he was like, I never heard of that scale before, which I found odd. And then when he showed him what it was, he was like, oh, it's just a diminished scale from the second mode. Well, yeah, that's all the double diminished is. But it's called double diminished, at least that's what the people around me called it, because it's 2 diminished 7 chords next to each other. So if you're playing an A double diminished scale, you're playing the 4 notes in an A diminished 7 and the 4 notes in a B flat diminished 7, hence double diminished. But anyway, so that's where it comes from. And I think more piano players refer to it as that, but I just always called it that. I find the diminished 7, I mean, the diminished scale, the whole half scale, absolutely useless. I find it useless. I have no idea why, wherever I would use that. So I don't, and I just don't get it. Where the other one has a practical application, as I showed, to put tensions against, you know, like an A13 chord or anything like that. Any A7 chord that's not a shell, or even a shell, depending. Then you have the option to go to the. Andy, I had a Line 6 Spider 4, which was good. The lines between each model and the effect was nightmarish. Yeah, I don't think the Line 6 sounds as good as the Fender Mustang. And like I said, the Fender Mustang, because it wasn't very popular, you can get them for really dirt cheap used. Because I have a Fender Mustang, I have a Line 6 Spider in my living room over here, just outside when I walk in the garage, it's right there. And it hasn't been plugged in years, and I don't know when I would ever plug it in. I've even tried giving it away and couldn't. I'm going to start to try to move some of my amps, get rid of them. That's probably very true. Yeah, he messaged me not too long ago. He sent me some like short. I didn't understand it. A guy plugging a guitar into an Apple or something, an amp into an Apple. I didn't get it. I was like, okay, don't get it. But yeah, I think I'm going to try to get rid of some of my amps. I just don't need them. What's amazing is how many gigs I've been playing acoustic. That's the other reason why I've been doing some of these shorts on my channels. In case people forget, I play electric too. You know, even though I do acoustic, electric is really where I play most of my stuff. And, you know, I didn't really like, even in bands where I had to play for an artist guitar, there would be a different guitar player for acoustic. It wasn't me. I'd be playing electric. So I just like to remind people, hey, I play electric. Hey, in case you forgot, perhaps we've crossed in the mail. Perhaps you forgot. Now here's a reminder. Yeah. The A7 lick that I play, which is just an A7 4-note chord, but I play it in triplets. Yeah, I got a lot of guitars. I mean, I used to have a ton, but I don't need them. So I'm down to probably like 12 guitars. The go-to one is the one you see me playing all the time, the yellow Strat. It's got a big fat V-neck. Yeah, there are some solid state amps. That's good. That's a good amp. So I have that. I also have a white Strat with an ebony fingerboard on a Wenge neck. I love that guitar. But lately, I've just been playing the shit out of that yellow one. It just feels the best to me. I also have a G&L ASAT 3 pickup that is in my bedroom. I play that one acoustically a lot. That's a great playing guitar. But yeah, I haven't really picked up anything else. I mean, you know, if I got hired to do a gig and it was like a heavy rock gig, I would probably bring my black Strat that has the no dots on the fingerboard except the skull and crossbones. It looks like a metal guitar. And if you know, if I had a country gig, I'd probably bring out a Telly. I have a B-bender. But for the most, my go-to is my yellow Strat. Looks like an intense. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, hey, dude, you passed my class. You got me? Yeah. And my buddy Rick. Yeah. Yeah, like if it wasn't for him, like I said, I told you that story. He was the one that, like, you know, he was a grade ahead of me. But he was like, we're going to be making videos. And just started handing me lyrics to he wrote and was like, can you make these into songs? And I'm like, what the fuck is up with this guy? Just giving me pages of lyrics. like without being embarrassed or anything like that. And I was just like, that blew me away. Still to this day, because it changed my whole perspective of, taking ownership and stuff like that and not being shy about it or afraid. If you write a song, write a song, you know? I think they're heading for a world of trouble. I think that they're headed for a whole lot of trouble. I don't know that, because in the States, they're not going to have any ownership to that. There's no trade dress, there's no logo anywhere near that. And it hasn't been fought for. It's the same thing that happened with PRS, and I think PRS is going to go down and win again because is it going to cause confusion at the point of sale? Absolutely not. And it's also been in the marketplace too long. Like, if you wanted to protect that as a trademark or a trade dress, you would have had to have done that, not in 1954, not today. They're not going to do well. They're going to try to get to the other guys, smaller guys, until somebody big enough like PRS says, "Go fuck yourself," and goes to court, and then it's all done. Well, I don't know personally how Fender claims they own the logo, the headstock, I mean, which would be a trade dress. Now, I understand how you can is if you only allow it to say Fender on it. But the second they license the trade dress out, I don't understand how they still retain ownership of the trade. You're an attorney who handles trademarks in your, because I talked to two and they couldn't tell me either. They were just like, well, nobody wants to sue them. But everything there, hey, it's Dave TV. So I'm like, how do they own the trade dress if they allow Nash to buy the use of it, if they allow Warmouth to sell it, if they allow Musicraft to sell it, and anyone can put any logo they want on it? How do they retain ownership? Mainly, how does Nash do it? I'll give you an example. If Coca-Cola owns the bottle shape of the famous bottle. The reason is because on the bottle, across, it says Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola logo. The logo is trademarked. Therefore, the shape surrounding the bottle, if you blacked out everything and you saw that shape, you would know that's a Coke bottle because you've seen the logo on it so many times. So that becomes what's called a trade dress. That is how you trademark a shape because the logo is there. Yeah, they're going to lose to PRS. I'm telling you right now. If they sue PRS, I know they wrote a cease and desist, and I know PRS responded with a Giphy. And if they're going to go through with a suit, if they do, they're going to lose, and it's going to open up a much worse can of worms for them. But the point about Coca-Cola is they own that trade dress because that's their logo, that's their trademark surrounded by the bottle. So the shape around the bottle becomes synonymous with the trademark, and it's called trade dress. Now, if Coca-Cola were to allow two companies to go out and use that bottle shape and say, we're going to charge you to use that shape, I wouldn't know how they would be able to retain the trade dress because now they've just allowed competition to use the shape, which then takes away why it's their trade dress, which Coca-Cola would never do because Coca-Cola is not stupid. Fender, however, allows for people to put their logo on their headstock. In companies like Nash, in a store. And because of that, I don't know how they retain their trade dress on their headstock even. And when I consulted an attorney about it, well, two of them, they both came back and said, our best guess is nobody wants to get into that lawsuit. But they could. And I said, but they could. And they go, yeah, it's a valid point. So, not only do I not think that, hey, how are you, man? Not only do I not think that they wouldn't win the headstock argument, the body shape, they have no shot in hell. No shot. All they have to show is all the companies that has made them over the years, and why didn't you go after them then? You don't protect what you consider to be your trade dress. You can't go back on it 40 years later and be like, hey, we want to stop all you guys now. Fuck off. That's what PRS should say, which they apparently did. And yeah, it's not a good look for Fender. Fender's going to become, they want to be the litigious like Gibson and try to protect what isn't theirs. And good luck. Southern Cross Vids. Who did you talked to Steve Carnelli? Oh, that's funny. Just Jimmy. They're wearing it, Jimmy. Oh, Henry boy, the pipes, the pipes. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and I see everyone's posting videos on Fender. I haven't clicked on one of them. Because honestly, I don't care. I'm at the point now where I've committed to myself. I'm never going to buy another guitar. Especially, I'm never going to buy another electric. I have everything I want. The only acoustic I will buy will be a Santa Cruz if it has an extra wide nut width. And the Santa Cruz that I want is the OM pre-war. Now, Carter Vintage has one on consignment, and I won't pay the tax and shipping. They should lower the price. And, oh no, I can say never. I just have no interest whatsoever. None. Yeah, I mean, if somebody comes up to me and they have a 58 Les Paul or a 54 custom shops I'm talking about, not originals, and they offer me stupid low money, I'd pick it up. But I'm not hunting it down. I don't care. I just don't care. Unless somebody calls me for a session and says, hey, do you have a Jazzmaster? I'm like, no, but I'll go buy one. No, I won't. And no one's ever going to ask me if I have a Jazzmaster. Oh my God, that is so absurd. The comedy of that, for some reason, floors me. You know, sometimes a producer will call you up and say, do you have a guitar with P90s? Oh, they will? They're going to call you and say that? Yeah, I mean, Fender's, dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. It's not going to be good for them. Oh, well, the thing is my Strats and my Tellys, all of them are custom made to my specs. And anytime I play a buddy of mine's guitar or someone's like, oh, you got to check this out, it does nothing. I could care less. I could care less. I even see guys on Facebook who are blowing out Les Paul's standards. And I'm like, 1,500 for a brand new standard. And I'm like, I still wouldn't buy it. That neck, what do I want that neck for? That pencil thin neck. The beefy 58 is the only one that I ever play. And I just don't care. Like, I've owned many Les Pauls. I've sold them because I hate the way they play. And I also just don't play them. And they're not comfortable for me. The fat neck ones, I think, are better. You know, and is the Les Paul the best looking guitar there is? I think so. But I'll play a Strat all day over it. You know, I just don't care. I'm also done buying pipes. I have enough pipes. I like smoking a pipe. I don't love it. It's a nice change from a cigar every now and then. But there's like 2 or 3 tobaccos that I really love, and the rest, I'm like, it's not my bag. It's not my bag, man. And I have enough pipes. I never saw the movie with Tom Hanks. But I will say 5 Desert Island albums. Wow. Yeah, I thought it would differ every day, I bet. I would definitely take Physical Graffiti by Zeppelin. I will definitely take Steely Dan Asia. I will definitely take Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Only because I could listen to it a billion times. I would definitely take the Blue Nile hats. What would be number 5? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think long and hard about number 5. Sure. You know, my Epiphone that I always play is very similar to that shape. So it's an orchestra model. It's the 25.5 scale. It has the super wide nut, which is 1 and 13 sixteenths, I believe. It's got a thick V neck, and it's a hard V. It's everything I love about a guitar. And the sound on it is just gorgeous. And I think the Santa Cruz is one of the best acoustic makers there is. It's one of my favorites. I think Santa Cruz, Collins. I mean, Santa Cruz is probably the step before you get into the ridiculous of like Dana Bourgeois or some of these other private builders, Olson. Uh, it's not that level tier like a Kevin Ryan, but it's definitely, I think Santa Cruz to me is bang for the buck, the best guitar if you get it around $5,000. That's what I offered, $5,000, but I want it $5,000 out the door. I don't want to pay tax on it. I don't want to pay shipping. I don't want, because it's used. Now, meanwhile, it's a year old or a year or 2 old. It looks like it hasn't been played, but I haven't even played it. And if you're selling it and you want, you know, that was my offer. Just the follow-up on Carter Vintage has been terrible. So I'm not even, like, I don't care anymore. Like, so what? I just don't care. I just don't think that they, you know, if I got an online message the way I was sending it back and forth, and I was running the store, I would hunt down what the guy wanted. I would go out of my way find what this guy wants, because maybe this guy buys a lot of guitars, maybe he doesn't. But either way, it was like, when I was running a store, I wanted to help somebody find what they wanted to find. So if I didn't have it, I wouldn't just be like, yeah, no. I used to call Bananas at Large, Alan up there in San Francisco. I used to call him, used to see if he had the guitar. I would go out of my way to try to find it from another dealer. So I could get this guy there. Holy Diver, Abbey Road, Unleashed in the East, Machine Head, Caressive Steel. Wow. That's an interesting list. Yeah, if I could take one Rush album, I hate to be that guy, but I would definitely take Moving Pictures. Even though I love Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres, 1981, baby. Moving Pictures just has it. When I hear every song, it brings me back. Oh yeah, The Ghost of the Machine was 1981 by The Police. That's another great record. But yeah, there's something about the nostalgia. You know, and it's funny because I always tell people, like, Camera Eyes. That's the best song on the album. It's gold. It's gold. He seemed oblivious to a soft warm rain, like an English rain. Oh, I love it. Camera Eyes, awesome. I mean, every song on that album's great. It's just great. I mean, I think I was talking to a student of mine about Rush, and we were talking about how good the albums from Farewell to King. Well, he likes from 2112 all the way up to Moving Pictures. And I was like, I like Signals a hell of a lot more than I like 2112. I think Signals is a fucking awesome album. He did not agree. He was like, I hated that album. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? I mean, I do think the worst song on the album, which is not a bad song, is New World Man. But it's still great. It was cutting edge for the time. It was fucking Rush making it on the radio. But I mean, Subdivisions, The Analog Kid, Chemistry, Losing It, Digital Man, everything about The Weapon, everything about that record I loved. I love that record. And 2112 I find to be not as good as Caress of Steel and not as good as Farewell to Kings. And it's between the two of them. I think it's the worst of the three. In fact, I will go on a limb and say 2112 is the worst album of the 70s from Rush. There, I said it. And speaking of going back to that Desert Island Disc, I might even take, there's a record by Imperial Drag, their eponymous only album. I love that album. There's something about that record that I would hate to be without. But going back, I just think 2112 is the worst of the 70s Rush. The first album is the first album, but it's a great first album. Castaway, okay. Yeah, no, I knew that was the movie. I never seen it. I've only seen the Family Guy jokes when it's like, my name is, and he goes, Wilson, he goes, my name is Voight. Farewell to Kings. Farewell to Kings is great. It's a lot better than 2112, and apparently you think so too if it's your favorite. I do like Hemispheres better than Farewell to Kings, although it's so micro. Like, if anyone said they like Farewell to Kings more than Hemispheres, I'd be like, I could see it. You know what I mean? It's not like Back in Black and For Those About to Rock, where it's like, For Those About to Rock's not even close. I mean, Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres are like peas in a pod. You know, if one's a 9.2, the other one's a 9.3. And I honestly don't care which way you go on it, but for me, I like Hemispheres. Although, which album, now see, I always conflate the two. Which album has Madrigal? Is that Farewell to Kings? If that's Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres I like better. If it's not, and that's hemispheres, which I don't think it is, then I might have to rethink it. That's how close they are, in my opinion. Yeah, Hold Your Fire was good. Definitely was good, but I don't think it's on the level. Like, is Hold Your Fire better than Power Windows? I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I think once you get to Hold Your Fire and Presto, we're down we're down. It's still good, but we're down a peg from, Grace Under Pressure, and definitely down two pegs from Signals. I think Signals is great. Grace Under Pressure is a great album too. It's just not as good as Signals, which, again, people are going to hate me for this one. I'll take Grace Under Pressure over 2112. I just do not like 2112 has some good songs. Like I like the train, where are the Bangkok Passage to Bangkok. I like. I think on 2112 when it goes in the 1812. I'm like, that is gay, just gay. Don't like it. I'm just like, this is the best you could do. I'm going to say Giddy Alex. Yeah, to me, it's like we're now at the point where they are touring to say goodbye or for their last hurrah. So is it Rush to me? Not really, but it's Geddy and Alex. So if you want to sit there and say I saw Rush with the girl drummer, that's fine, or whatever her name is. I couldn't even tell you. But I just don't care. It's not the band. And to me, it's like ZZ Top. You know, you can go see ZZ Top today, but it doesn't have Dusty Hill. And for me, that's like, well, you're not seeing ZZ Top. You're seeing Billy Gibbons and Frank Beard, and then the fill-in guy who, I don't know if it was one of the techs. I forget who it was that ended up being the guy. But I mean, so I don't even think there's a conversation there about it. If you want to go see them, I think it's fine. I've seen the original Rush 3 times, maybe 3 or 4. And I'm not a huge Rush fan. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I like them a lot, but they're not like, I don't even know why I went and saw them so many times. I think it was because my friends wanted to go. Definitely the first time I saw them, I was dragged. And then I seen them the next tour, and someone gave me tickets. Hold on, PMG off ramp wall. Seriously, folks, fair one. Wall, seriously, folks. You know what I think about that, Joe? That's one of the best albums of the 70s. That's overlooked all the time by everybody. That album is gold. I mean, everything on it. There's a couple of things, you know, that like over time, when I first heard the album, there's an instrumental, what is it? The Boat of whatever, the Boat of Wheels, whatever that is. Now I love it. It's like it's such a part of the album. Tomorrow, I mean, side 2 is great, just like side 1, but side 2, tomorrow. Oh, it's a great record. I can't say enough good about that Joe Walsh album. Theme from Boat, yeah. Yeah, it's so good. And at first, I didn't get it. But now when I listen to the whole album, it flows the album, man. It's just, it's a part. You know, it's great. That side 1, though, is really hard to argue. You know, over and over and over. Secondhand store, Indian summer at the station. Just awesome. Wolf? I don't know if I know Wolf. I remember when The Confessor came out and everybody in my school was like, that's the greatest. And I heard it recently and I still have the same reaction. It's cool. I don't love it. I don't love it, but everyone loved it when I was a kid. That I'll never forget. People going on and on about the Confessor. Confessor doesn't do it for me. I think it's a good song. I I don't care for the key change. I didn't understand that. Uh, nope, no veggies. That's done for the rest of my life. This November, I'll be 4 years carnivore. You know, I looked for that Streets album because I wonder if Spotify, oh yeah, my phone's being used here. I wonder if Spotify, I'm going to give it a listen. I love Steve Walsh. To me, he's in the conversation of the greatest rock singers of all time. He has to be in the top 5 of all time. Has to be. He's amazing. All right, guys, in the comments, in the chat, top 5 rock singers of all time. I'll say Steve Walsh, Lou Gramm, and again, obviously I'm taking Lou Gramm. I'm taking just Steve Perry. I'm taking Lou Gramm just from Foreigner, Double Vision, and the third album. After Foreigner 4 and after that, I could care less about Lou Gramm or anything he said. Although I do like Break It Up on volume on Foreigner 4. Break It Up's the only song I can stomach on that album. But Steve Perry, Steve Walsh, Lou Gramm. I mean, do I have to give it to Freddie Mercury? I love his voice. I just don't know if, to me, that's the greatest rock singer. Love his voice. I love Queen. I have to come up with 2 more. I'm on the fence with Mercury. I mean, I love Ronnie James Dio. I love Dickinson. Shit, even for a rock singer, I loved, what's his name? Rainbow there, and then Joe Lynn Turner had a great voice. But I got to think, who would I put in this top 5? Yeah, you like Sebastian Bach? He had a good voice. I didn't love it. And I was thinking Chris Cornell too. Clearly, I'm not talking about Chris Cornell when he was in Audio Slave, but even by then, his voice to me was damaged. It's like overly compressed. It's weaker. All right, Andy, man. Greg Lake's a great call. Calling early morning. Oh, man, he was great. He wouldn't be on my list, but he's great. I think Ronnie James Dio has to be in my list. I mean, that guy's a monster. A monster, I tell you, a monster. Um, and I do love Freddie, but I don't know if I would consider that when I think of rock singers. I mean, Freddie's voice was the best on A Day at the Races. His voice was at his peak on A Day at the Races. I mean, every song, Tie Your Mother Down, he's belting out with power. The Millionaire Waltz, You Take My Breath Away. What's the big hit on that album? Somebody to Love. Just You and I. Good old fashioned lover boy. I mean, his voice is incredible on that record. I think it's his best vocally. And I do love the game. Hmm. Hold on, I think I missed that last one. Sean, you are out in left field with this list. Rob Halford, up until maybe Turbo. When he starts getting into the high shrieky voice, I can't stand it. Rick Emmett can't sing anymore. I feel terrible when I watch his videos. Ian Gillan, huh? It's not a good list. Ian Gillan, I always hated his voice. In fact, I thought for a minute about saying what's his name, David Coverdale. But you know, his album, his voice, I think is great from 1980 to like 89. And after that, I don't care for it. And before that, even on stuff like Stormbringer, I just feel like he's too nasally, like he hasn't opened up his voice on those records as much. And Burn, his voice is so much better when it gets to Ready and Willing. I do love Fireball. I think Fireball might be Deep Purple's best song. But then I hear him singing on Born Again by Black Sabbath and my stomach turns. I'm one of the few people I know that just do not like that album. And I was burning, I was what the hell is he singing? Well, Paul McCartney, I mean, just on Maybe I'm Amazed alone is unbelievable. I guess we are talking about who our favorites are, really not who's the best, because we can't. I do like McCartney's voice. He would have made my list, though. Um, Paul Rogers was great. I do have to say, if you ask me who I liked better, Paul Rogers or James Dewar on the Bridge of Sighs album, I like Bridge of Sighs' voice. It's Paul Rogers-esque. So many singers love Paul Rogers. He was great and Free. Um, a little before your time, but vocally, Meatloaf is in my top tier. How was that before my time? That record came out in 1977. One of the first albums I ever owned. For crying out loud, you know I love you. On a hot summer night, would you offer your throat to the wolf with the red roses? I would have to say it's when you just have to pick a singer, and obviously you can clearly argue the time when they were that singer, because like I said, Lou Gramm is definitely in my list, and I could rest on my laurels just on the song "I Need You" off of the first Foreigner album, but the second Foreigner album he sings unbelievable. I mean, he sings great on the first four albums, even after that, but the music I just don't care for those records. The first three I really like. So yeah, it's whenever the singer could have one album where they sang great, and if that's the voice, that's the voice. I mean, if we're not talking rock and it can be any kind of music, I mean, I think Don Henley has to be in the conversation. His voice is fucking awesome. I mean, I like the guy who sang Blue on Black. I have no idea who the singer is. I thought it was Kenny Wayne Shepherd. It's not. If it isn't, I have no idea. Yeah, Jim Steinman. Top 3 female rock singers. Well, everyone's going to put Ann Wilson. She's the model, right? The base of, it has to be Ann Wilson to be talked about first. I'll tell you who had a great voice, and I can't tell you her name, but maybe I can. Is it Dale? The girl that was married to Gary Rossington that sang on Don't Misunderstand Me. I fucking love her voice. Do you guys know the song? Don't Misunderstand Me by Rossington Collins. First, it's the guy who sings, I know where you're going, I know where. When she comes in, it's like game over. Hike the fucking football, give her the mic and shut the fuck up. She's great. She almost sounds like Ann Wilson on the song. What's the song by heart? Wake me with laughter. How Can I Refuse? I think it's called, from 83-ish. She sounds like Ann. Ann again would be the fucking, that's the scale. Yes, she's awesome. Dale Krantz, yeah, Rossington, exactly. Awesome. Great fucking rock voice. Just in that song alone, I'd say, come on, let's go. That's it. Has anyone seen this young girl that sings heart songs? She's in a band called Little Queen down in Texas. She's got a great voice. She should have a huge career. She needs to find an original band, put her as the singer, and write songs, and bring back rock and roll. But she does a great Ann Wilson. I think she's like 19. Fucking great. Great. I mean, Pat Bennett could be in the conversation. She had a great voice. I also love Blondie. But I'm partial to it because I love that Eat to the Beat album, I think, is one of the greatest records of all time. Oh, yeah, it's a great tune. Wake me up with laughter. Oh, it's awesome. And I can't remember if Looks Could Kill is on that album or if that was on the album before it. I always thought If Looks Could Kill was a great one for her voice. She was still belting them out back then. That was early 80s. Before the the Alone and all the Papa Horse shit songs that they did. And I think Jonathan Cain wrote a song for them on an album in 81. And I can't remember it. Passion Works. That's 83, isn't it? I think most of my favorite female singers are singing more R&B. I used to love Chaka. I think she had a great voice. I think, what's the girl who was saying Freedom Friendship Train? Gladys Knight. Awesome voice. Awesome. Yeah, Grace Slick I could leave out. I have no issue leaving Grace Slick out, by the way. None whatsoever. To me, the most memorable thing she sang, well, besides Familiar Stranger, is when she sang on Only You Believe. She's like, with sugar on it, that's how I like you. Yeah, even in the 60s, my favorite Jefferson's Airplane song is Today. Today. Alison Krauss, the album Forget About It, and the album New Favorite. But Forget About It is way better. Forget About It is in my top 50 albums of all time by Alison Krauss. I effing love that record. I could listen to it. In fact, I listened to it 2 weeks ago driving home from my gig in Plymouth. I put on Forget About It. I just think that album's unbelievable. And didn't I do a few lessons from that album on here? I think I did, maybe? Yesterday's the situation. I think I taught maybe. Maybe I should stay. And I thought I did another song. I might have done two from her, but I love her. Awesome voice. And her brother Victor had an album out years ago, Victor Krauss, and she sang Big Log on his album. They did Big Log because Victor's a bass player. Victor played bass. The guitar player was Bill Frisell, and Allison sang, and they did Big Log, and I love that. Carrie Underwood's voice is incredible. Incredible. Born to Sing. Born to Sing. That first album, too, I love that first album of hers. You guys might think I'm crazy because I love country music, but she had a song, Don't Forget to Remember Me, which I think is great. The pop songs that made it on the radio I didn't love, which was, Jesus Take the Wheel I thought was a decent song. There was another song, the song where she sings with an attitude and the pool cue and ruining the guy's car. Karen Carpenter was awesome. Awesome. Just awesome. Honestly, and if you're bringing up Karen Carpenter, you have to bring up Babs. Because I'll take Guilty from 1980 by Barbra Streisand over most. Every song is written by Barry Gibb. It's produced by Barry Gibb. That record for me, I like Carly Simon. Yeah, Carly was good. Not great, but good. Linda Ronstadt was good. When she was belting out You're No Good, that was great. But can we get back to Babs for a moment? Because politically, she is an effing moron. She is such a limousine liberal, I can't stomach her. But for Christ's sake, Guilty is so good. If I was running the gates of heaven instead of St. Peter, I'd be up there going, when she came up, I'd be like, listen, you are an idiot. I shouldn't let you in. But in 1980, you released Guilty. And I'm going to let you come through for that. You're on a 2-week double secret probation. In fact, I'm going to let you in just because of the song, The Love Inside. And then I said, but your penance is you have to hear me sing it. Gotta have a little of the love inside. Oh God. And I would have my angels next to me performing the music on kazoo. And I'm like, this is your penance. Then you can go in and you're on double secret probation. Exactly. Joe and Krell will be there with fucking kazoos. Yoko Ono. Awful. I love Buddy Hackett. There's no fucking ship. Buddy's great. My favorite Buddy Hackett joke, he says, somebody knocks on his door and they're like, I'm with some Habitat for Wildlife. Do you know there's only 20 snow geese left in the world? And he goes, oh, really? If one shits on my car, there'll be 19. It's fucking great. I love Buddy Hackett. But yeah, I think Guilty might take 1980. That's what takes 1980 over the top. And whatever year the Jazz Singer came out, was that late 80 or 81? Jazz Singer is another record I love. Exactly. The HBO stand up, that's exactly where that joke came from. Remember, he did Wax Job. You need Wax Job. Tonight, I am smoking the Rocky Patel Black Swan in the 6x60 Vitola. Oh yeah, great. And the woman Peg in the front row, there was a woman Peg, and she would always blush when he was swearing. So he's like, "Oh, you don't like swears? Two fags are fucking a dead alligator on a bus." And she like turned bright red. Buddy Hackett was gold, folks. There's a great short on a story. It's either on Instagram or I think I saw it on Instagram. It's Jay Moore talking about drinking in a bar with Kevin Spacey. And Jay Moore says, "Hey, you want to go over to, let's go over to Buddy Hackett's house." It's like 1 a.m. And so they call Buddy, and Buddy's like, "Yeah, you can come by." So they go over to his house. Buddy opens the door in a robe and, pours everybody a drink. And then they're like, he goes, "You want some snacks?" And they're like, "Yeah." They go, "It's in the fridge. I don't usually put them out at 1 a.m. But I guess he deadpanned them in the face. "I don't put out snacks at 1 a.m. Ugh, Buddy Hackett was gold. That's a legend. An absolute legend. Foster Brooks. Who played an alcoholic better, Foster Brooks or Dean Martin? I still do the Dean Martin joke every time we do a gig after the first song. I go, "We have time for maybe one more." People look around like, "What?" Yeah, he was acting. 100% he was acting. Yeah, there's many people now who come out and talk about Dean Martin's acting drunk and that he wasn't drinking and that whole bit was an act. And he used to that was his shtick, but that nobody knew. But it's come out now that it's all been just, he was full of shit. Well, Foster Brooks did the act like on the Dean Martin roast, where then I don't think Dean Martin was acting like he was drunk, not like he did in his no, well, he might have been drinking on Carson, but the thing was, he used to do this thing where he was, pretending he was drunk. Who convinced you? Oh, Dean Martin. Yeah, I think if you look it up, I don't think he was as a drunk like you might think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those guys were always like, uh, you know, for some reason, those bands thought it would be impressive to sit there and pour Jack Daniels down their throat on stage. There were real guys that used to. I had a buddy of mine. He used to play in a band in Boston, and they opened up one time for the Pogues. And he said during sound check, Shane McGowan had a gallon of wine and drank the gallon of wine during sound check, and then had a new bottle that he took on stage. And he was like, he was pissed drunk out of his mind. I'm like, he goes, "I don't know how he did that show." I'm like, that guy's gold. Because he sings like he's out of his fucking mind drunk. all you Queensryche guys didn't pick Jeff Tate as one of your singers. I like Jeff's voice on Rage for Order, but I always thought he was the Ethel Merman of rock and roll. Yeah, the Dean Martin roasts are awesome. I mean, it's to me that's all about fucking Rickles. Rickles was the shit back then. When they're roasting Mr. T, and Rickles says to George Papard, George, tell Mr. T what you told me, how you don't want the blacks living in your neighborhood. And they all just start laughing. It is gold. Rickles is awesome. Just great. Oh yeah. But the roasts are awesome. There's one from like 1970 that Carson is the MC, and he's great. The Red Fox episode. What's the difference between a peeping Tom and a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? A pickpocket snatches watches. Of course I watch Match Game. Somebody posted on Facebook the other day the song Whiskey Lullaby by Brad Paisley with Alison Krauss. And I commented, I love this song. It's written by Bill Anderson, and I'm a big fan of anybody who was on the panel on Match Game. Do you guys remember when Whispering Bill Anderson was in the #1 seed on Match Game in the 70s? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he ever did. I know because they like to stretch those things out longer. When we were recording a country album, we went to dinner with John Bauman, who played Bowser in Sha Na Na. And everyone was asking him Sha Na Na questions and just about the band, about how they got started and everything. John, I'm sitting next to John, and John says, Dave, you're being quiet. Do you have any questions? I said, I'll wait till everybody's done. And he's like, why? I said, because my question is more about Match Game. And he thought that was the funniest thing, and he started laughing. But then he started telling me all the dirt on Match Game. It was fucking great. Episode 147? That's funny. I'll have to look. Yeah, I'll have to look. Somebody tell me what time it is. I think I started this 8:30. I don't even know what time I started. But it says I've been doing this for an hour and a half. $8:20 I started. Oh, it's 10:05. Alrighty. Because this cigar is getting to the end, so I'm thinking, should I light up a small cigar or go? You guys tell me. I'll let you guys make the call because I can sit and yap. 89 minutes. Mine says 90. Well, yeah, mine says live 1 hour, 30 minutes on my phone. All right, let me see if I have a small cigar. I'm done with this one. Let me see. I'm going to be right back. Let me see if I can find a small cigar. If not, I'll grab a pipe. Give me 1 minute, guys. And I'm back. Yeah, I almost did it from my music room and had my guitar with me, but I was like, nah, I wanted to smoke. This is my Peterson Donegal 606 shape. The 606 is what I like, the straight pipes. This is a Peterson. And inside I'm smoking LJ Peretti Tashkent, which I think is my favorite pipe tobacco. Now, lighting a pipe can be a problem sometimes because sometimes the tobacco can be too wet and you should let it sit and dry in a leather pouch like this for like 20 minutes, but I didn't do that. Not really charred yet, but there we go. Excellent. Outstanding. Uh, we got asked to do a gig on the 4th. We have, 4th is going to be a Saturday this year. And we're not playing in Plymouth because the bar's closed that night. So we're probably going to do it. I just have to confirm it and get all that info down. But that's going to be the plan, is playing an outside party for the day. But yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be nice. I'm sick of this cold. You know, yes, yeah. So on my Strats, I replace the saddles with Graphtec saddles. If I have those original screw ones that stick into your hand, I get rid of them and I use the Graphtec. Or I use or like on my yellow Strat, I have the Fender Deluxe, which has the flat, which you don't have the screws. So yeah, I hate the original screws that go into like a regular bridge on a Strat, and I get rid of them. Actually, the impression I like to do with a pipe is always Commander McBragg. Quite. You guys remember Commander McBragg? I will tell you the time I was fighting the Arabs in the desert, knowing that a camel is the ship of the desert. He sticks a sail in the top of the camel and sails away. It's fucking no commander. Quite. Yeah, see, it's not holding light that good because I didn't let it dry out. This tends to be a little bit wet, this tash can, but it's my favorite tobacco. And apparently there's like no Virginia tobacco in here and no burley. And people are like, oh, this is like all filler tobacco. It's like Turkish and Oriental and Latakia. And I'm just like, what the fuck ever? It's the best. Oh, the cartoons back then. Fractured Fairy Tales. Everything. That Go-Go Gophers. I love the Go-Go. Begging the Colonel's pardon. Those old cartoons are the best. Where were you on Pipe Night? We missed you. So this is a tamper. With a pipe, you got to always, the tobacco raises and you got to push it back down to keep everything on the cherry. So no, it was great. It was absolutely great. That's it. It's exactly what I was doing, Kramer on pipe night, which is the whole reason why I started smoking a pipe. I was smoking so many cigars, and then I'm watching it like pipe night. I'm like, you know what? I should try a pipe. So I did. Again, I don't love it. I do like this tobacco a lot. This is going to be like main tobacco, and everything else that I have will be for friends when they come over. They can try the tobaccos that I tried before. I mean, some people really like the pipe guys. Oh, I can taste cocoa. I can taste. If that's what cocoa and sugar tastes like to you, please don't ever make me dessert. It doesn't taste anything like that. It tastes like tobacco. Look away, Jerry. I'm hideous. There you go. Cream is the best. Absolutely. I love him. He's awesome. There's one pipe tobacco I have called Military Force, and when I smoke it, my whole garage smells like my uncle's house when I was growing up. It has to be similar to whatever he smoked when I was a kid. Yeah. Yeah, Captain Black is one of my least favorite blends. That's the Codger, one of the Codger blends. I don't love the Codger blends. I like some of them. Actually, I like Velvet. Half and half to me is a little too mm, light, and Captain Black to me is just I don't love it. Like I say, the room smells nicer than the tobacco taste. Now I hear the best Captain Black is the cherry, but again, because I smoke cigars, I don't like flavored tobacco. So some people like, oh, I have a tobacco called No Bite Delight. It's supposed to be like topped with like chocolate and vanilla. And the room smells like it, but it doesn't taste like it. And so I'm just like, well, just give me the regular. Right now, I'm getting a phone call, but I'm not going to answer it. It's my buddy Al, which means he's not watching this, which means I'll tell you a story about Al. Al is the guy who had the callings. He was the guy who I traded a Les Paul for him years ago for a Les Paul Studio for a USA Sterling bass. And we go out to eat last week, and Al shows up in like a fucking Sherpa blue Cookie Monster shirt that looks like a sweatshirt looking thing, but it looks like something you would wrap a baby up, like a 6-month old, with the Cookie Monster's face on this giant blue fucking sweatshirt. I walk in, oh, he left me a voicemail. I walk in and I'm laughing. And because I'm making fun of him, there's like 3 families sitting around waiting for their table. They start laughing, and I'm like, is this guy mental or what? You have to know him, but he's so ridiculous. And I know he's going to wear that shirt everywhere he goes. And we're meeting this Sunday again with everybody. So I went on eBay and found it in my size, and I'm going to wear it and show up in that fucking ridiculous thing. He's going to lose his fucking shit. I couldn't believe I found it. No, he's absolutely single. Absolutely. You have to understand, he looked ridiculous. It came in the mail today for me. I ordered it on eBay. Like One guy had it used and one guy had a new one in my size, a size medium. I'm like, I'm getting this. It's fucking awesome. I tried it on. I'm like, my sister was here because she comes over here and helps my mom. And I put it on and she was dying. She's like, he is gonna fucking freak out. I said, I know he's gonna be wearing it, so I'm gonna show up going, what? You have one of these? It'll be fucking gold. I've known the guy since I was 18. He played in he had just quit playing in a band, and his buddy was playing in a band that was in the same rehearsal studio that I was, and met him. And that's we just became great friends. We used to play a lot of pool together, and then he's a great bass player, but now he likes playing guitar more. I should. It's just tobacco. It's called Tashkent by L.J. Peretti. Yeah, I'll post a picture of it. I took a picture of it with me wearing it today, but I'm not going to post it till after I show up to our meeting with it on, because I don't want him to catch it because he'll see it if I post it on Facebook. So I don't want to post it yet. It's gold, fucking gold, man. I mean, you have to understand, we were probably together for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I would not lay off him on it. I mean, the waitress came over and I'm like, well, the Cookie Monster would like another soda. I mean, just fucking busting balls nonstop. It was fucking great, which he loves, by the way. He doesn't give two shits. You know, when I say Monster, he's like, the Cookie Monster indeed. He's a big Dr. Smith fan. He loves Lost in Space. What's Steve Walsh's song? Johnny, I think you should change from cigarettes to a pipe. Hell's Kitchen? I don't know it. I'll look it up. I don't know it. If it's Steve Walsh, I love Steve Walsh. I even like the Steve Walsh song he sang in Kansas when he came back to the band. Oh, All I Ever Wanted. Was that what it's called? I think it's called All I Ever Wanted. I like that song. Do you know if it's on Spotify? If it is, I'll check it out. See, a pipe, you got to slow down. You got to sip on it. You can't, you have the LP. Wow. If you smoke it like a cigar, the fucking bowl gets hot and it burns your hand. It's not filtered. You don't need a filter. They make pipes with filters, though. You can buy a Savinelli. They all have like 9 millimeter filters. You get a 6 millimeter filter. I smoke non-filtered. I'm used to smoking cigars. So to me, cigars are like, you get 10 times the amount of smoke coming at you. This is like, it's just very relaxing. It's different. It's a whole different experience. If you think like it's substituting a cigar, it doesn't. Not for me anyway. I mean, some people switch to a pipe, but to me, I'll never. Except the look of a pipe is hilarious. Like if I sit here like this, and then I go, all right, I can do my Charles Nelson Riley. Both. When I learn a song, I just rather listen to it by ear. What I notice about a lot of sheet music is they write it in wrong keys all the time. Um, you know, like if a rock song goes A, D to D, in a chart, they'll write it as the key of A and then flat and then make the G natural every time they get it. So it drives me fucking nuts. It's like, why wouldn't you write this in the key of D and then just make it centered on A? Which sometimes you will find, but not most of the time. These people that are charting, these people that are writing sheet music, it's like they just dummy it up. So I hate it. Yeah, wasn't Audio Visions? Is that the one with the wall? Does that have the wall on it? Or does that have Hold On? Or both on it? It's got Hold On though, right? What are you saying, Chris? You see how I am about Leftover Chart? I always forget what's on, attribute everything else to it. It was a great record. Oh, I'm only saying that's the song? Okay, I'll check it out. Didn't Triumph have a song called Hold On? I never cared for that one so much. You know what bothered me about Triumph was when they came up with the album Thunder 7 and they just completely ripped off fucking Come Down on Your Own. Can't Find My Way Back Home. It's like, what are you doing? How do you not know you're completely ripping off a Blind Faith tune? Oh, Gentlemen, Pipe, or you're thinking about it, Tashkent by LJ Peretti. You can order them online. They're a Boston-based tobacconist. It's good. It's the shit. It's the tobacco so far. For me, it's like, it's by a long shot, too. It's not even close. I'm going to pick an 8 ounce can of it up soon. Hey, Southern Cross, have a great night, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. SVV, SW. Pretend SW, Steve Walsh. What's SCV? Yeah, the nicotine's good for you. You don't want to stop. I love when people talk to me about smoking and they're like, oh, there's so many chemicals. Oh, yeah, let me see what you're eating. Oh, I see, Southern Cross yeah. Exactly. I've gone to a few cigar detached. Oh, do you guys like the shorts that I've been putting up? I put one up today. Again, I'm just trying to remind people that I play. Oh, it's buffering. Aspirin, Sucrets. Yeah, I did one today too, Johnny. I ordered this the other day. This is like a pouch to put, like, how much fucking tobacco do you think I'm putting in a pipe that anyone needs a leather fucking tobacco thing this big? My regular one is this size. This is the size I thought I was getting. Look at the fucking thing. I can put four of them in there. Absurd. And then Etsy is like, "Well, you happy with your product?" Yeah, if I'm smoking a swimming pool, how much fucking tobacco do you think I need to dry out before I put in my pipe? Now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Thank you. I can't even tell you guys. I'm very shocked every time I light this up, just how much I enjoy it. Like it's just so much better than these other tobaccos. I mean, I have like a lot of like quality blends like that I've seen these guys review, and supposed to be the best. And I'm like, I'll smoke a cigar 10 times out of 10 over this shit. But this one, I should be smoking one of these pipes a day. Very good. Mm. I thought I taught you that, Johnny. Didn't I teach you how to play Jane? I miss Johnny's late night videos on guitar, where he's like the angry guitar player, where he's going to smash his guitar, trying to play the part. Johnny, we need more of those. Not videos of your TV where you can barely hear you talking, but for some reason your camera's on a monitor or on something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Hmm. I had a buddy of mine the other day call me up. He was telling me he made ribs, and then he was telling me that he put the sauce on. He goes, "You wouldn't eat it if it had this sauce." I said, "No." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Read me the ingredients." And then he read me the ingredients. I go, "Well, that's not food. I would not eat that." I got to get up early tomorrow. It's back day in the gym, and then I have fucking run around and do errands. Yeah, it's terrible. This stuff didn't not only had sugar, it was like there was, I think it was, the first thing was corn syrup, then there was sugar later, and then more corn syrup, a different kind of corn syrup later than that. I was just like, and then all kinds of starches and sodium. It's just nonsense shit. Why eat it? And then, YouTube has a problem with like the pipe or cigar community. Oh, we have strict rules about tobacco, about what you can say about it, what you can't. But you have these fat fuckers going doing mukbangs, eating nothing but poison. They're dropping dead like flies, by the way. I think there are 6 who had died so far. And there's one fat kid that I saw the other day. He had a video where he has sleep apnea, and he's like, "Well, now they want to run all kinds of tests on me." I'm like, "You don't have to run a test. Stop eating the bullshit you're eating. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself to live." I do like a young Ozzy singing. But anyway, what else, guys? What else? Let's wrap this up. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. The pipe community on YouTube is interesting. Some of the guys, I enjoy their videos. One guy, I was crying laughing because every sound in the world was going off around him. You could barely hear him. But then some of these guys, they start going down a story. Well, I was out with the grandkids the other day. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's like, really? I gotta listen to this shit? Show me the pipe, tell me what you're smoking, do you like it, and get the fuck off. I mean, here we're talking about music, different kind of channel. Leave them. They're terrible. Where are they today? I'll tell you where they are today. They're bagging groceries at Stop and Shop. They're a bunch of corkies. What's the rich man's kingdom come? Yeah, I brought them up earlier, I thought. I don't care for them. They stink. I thought they stunk back then. I thought they were way too derivative and they were just young kids and everyone's like, oh, they're gonna be great. Yeah, how are they doing now? I like when Robert Plant heard them and he was like, oh, that sounds familiar. And they're like, they claim that they're ripping off Aerosmith. He was like, oh yeah, really? That's so, huh? Meanwhile, I was giving a lesson on the song Monkey Man, and I realized the intro to Monkey Man is the verses to One Way Street. So I wonder if Aerosmith in their early days used to do Monkey Man and then afterwards was like, hey, we can turn this into a song. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're both great songs. I love One Way Street, but it is very derivative of that whole intro section. The C minor, the C minus 7, the C minus 6, the C minor with a flat 6. What the hell's Hangman Jury? I don't know what that is. From now on, I should only do pipe videos with a captain's hat and an ascot. I should really be channeling my Charles Nelson Riley. Oh, I won't listen to anything Aerosmith after Rockin' a Hard Place. And that's only because I like Lightning Strikes off of Rockin' a Hard Place. And there was another good song too. I got to try to remember what it's called. There's another song on Rockin' a Hard Place I like. I heard Kings and Queens the other day. That's a fucking great song. I'm ready to say that's Aerosmith's best song. That is just a great fucking song. Yeah, I didn't care for Milk Cow Blues. That's on Draw the Line, which next to Kings and Queens, I don't know if Milk Cow Blues is just not good, or is it just because it's next to Kings and Queens and anything next to that? I mean, what else is on that album? Sight for Sore Eyes on that record too, on Draw the Line. I'm trying to think if there was any other good songs on it. Draw the Line's good. Yeah, maybe Sight for Sore Eyes. Yeah, Done with Mirrors, no. No, no, no. Is Done with Mirrors the one that has Let the Music Do the Talking? If so, I'll take a hard pass on that album. Yeah, yeah. Initially they did that with Joe Perry Project. I like the Joe Perry Project when Charlie Farron sang, when they did East Coast, West Coast, and Listen to the Rock. But was My Fist Your Face on Done with Mirrors too? That wasn't terrible. What was the other one that was on Rockin' a Hard Place though? There was another big song, a good song. Was it Joni's Butterfly that was on that record? Cry Me a River was. I'm trying to think what was on that album. It's been a long time. I think that album was 1982, if I'm not mistaken. I heard Mia the other day. That's a great song off Night in the Ruts. Or Right in the Nuts, depending on the front or the back of the album, whichever you're looking at. Chiquita is a good song. I think the cover of Walking in the Sand is on that album too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, which I'm not a fan of. I can't say I'm not a fan of Desmond Child. I think what he does is fine. I like what he did with Bon Jovi. I just think for Aerosmith, they were like, for me, they were like a Boston's answer to the Stones. And then they became a pop outfit. And that turns my stomach. I'm not into the pop, Love in an Elevator, awful. I just don't like any of that stuff. But the early stuff, like You See Me Crying, even the ballads like Home Tonight, I love. I mean, I think Rocks is their best album. Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Lick at a Promise, Rats in the Cellar, Get the Let Out, Nobody's Fault. What a great fucking record that is. Hey, Chris, have a great night, man. Thanks for hanging. Lord of the Flies is on Get Your Wings. That's the second album, which is another great album. Lord of the Flies. It's got one of my favorite songs, could be my second favorite Aerosmith song, SOS Too Bad. Um, what else is on that album? Same Old Song and Dance. Pandora's Box. Woman of the World, Spaced. Mia's on Night in the Ruts. Na 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 na. I think that was his other daughter, right? Seasons of Wither. That's the second album. Get Your Wings. Train Kept a Rolling. And Train Kept a Rolling had Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter on guitar. And then I forget which one it is. I think it's Dick Wagner that's the lead on Same Old Song and Dance. I do like that album better than Toys in the Attic. I like Toys. I don't love Toys. I think Toys is their fourth best record. And for me, it goes Rocks, Get Your Wings, the first album, then Toys in the Attic. Then everything else is like okay. Like Draw the Line is okay. 3 great songs. Night in the Ruts is okay. And then with the new guitar players there, you got what's it called? That one album, Rockin' a Hard Place. I can't believe this thing is still smoking. Yeah, I agree. I think Rocks is the best. I'm with you. Joe, Johnny, go listen to the album with Charlie Farron singing. The album that with East Coast, West Coast, and listen to the rocker. That's a great record. So I had 10 years ago, I was playing guitar for a blues band that hosted a jam. And they invited Charlie Farron was going to come down, and they needed somebody that knew his songs to play bass. So they called me and said, would you play bass and learn these? He wants to do a set of 4 songs. I said, sure. I said, but 2 of them have to be East Coast, West Coast, and the other one has to be Listen to the Rock, or I'm not doing it. So the manager calls me, Charlie's manager, and was like, you know, he said you would do it. I said, those are my stipulations. We have to do East Coast, West Coast, and Listen to the Rock. So he said, fine. So now Charlie comes down, we play the songs, and we're hanging out after. And he was super, super nice. He's a great, great guy. And he says, hey, Dave, I got a question for you. I said, what? He goes, would you really not have played if we didn't do those 2 songs? I said, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody's paying me anything here. And I can't tell my friends that I played with Charlie Farron and we didn't do those 2 songs. Those are the only 2 songs that matter to me. He thought it was the funniest thing. He was like, that is hysterical. I'm like, absolutely. I said, yeah, when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be able to look to somebody and go, I played up East Coast, West Coast live with Charlie Farron. True story. And then he tells me a great story. He says he went to a Red Sox game. And this young girl, and when I say young, she was probably like mid-20s, almost 30. This is according to him. And he says she's beautiful. And she's like, will you take a picture with me? And he's like, yeah. And so then the mother's like all excited. She takes a picture. And she's like, who is he? And the daughter goes, I don't know his name. He's on Community Auditions. Charlie Farron said he felt like so ridiculous. That's a local TV show where it's like a local America's Got Talent type of thing. He was a judge on it. Fucking hilarious. But he was like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I fucking love it. He's like, I thought they knew me for who I was. You know, he had a band called Fahrenheit, and then he was in the other band there with Joe Perry Project. But I love that story. He's a super nice guy, very tall. Of course, everyone's tall next to me. I'm a midget. Have you guys ever watched, there's an SNL skit where it's like the outtakes from The Wizard of Oz, and Fred Armisen plays the weather vane? If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. Armisen kills me. You got to look it up. He plays the weather vane. Armisen is just fucking great. I love Fred Armisen. I think he's one of the funniest guys that was ever on SNL. And it is the funniest bit. Just when he's like, we've been walking a long time. We should really stop and get something to eat. And they're like, well, wait till we get to Emerald City. He's like, we don't know if anything's going to be open. It's fucking, he's just, Armisen, I don't know how they aren't fucking crying, laughing during that scene. It's gold. Just gold. Let it be known, I think I'm on Tashkent only from now on. This is fucking good. Fucking great, man. I'm impressed, again, with Tashkent. In fact, I think it smokes better than the room smells. Like, usually it's the other way around. For me, anyway. Like, if you light up Captain Black, the room smells great. The pipe tastes terrible, but the room smells great. This is the opposite. The room smells, I don't smell anything. It doesn't really have, but the flavor is so good. LJ Paredes' a place in Boston. On Mother's Day, we went to Abe and Louie's took my mother to Abe and Louie's. It's a steakhouse, really good. Had a great steak, tons of bacon. It was fucking great. And then we hightailed it over to LJ Paredes so I could pick up some tobacco. And I was like, I want to pick up Tashkent. I had read about it. I never tried it, but it was like, people were saying it was a lot different than, but very good. And some people didn't like it. So I was like, I'm going to try it. So I got it. I'm so glad I did. It's fucking great. This is the kind of tobacco you smoke after a meal. I could see me doing this after a meal. This is like something great about this. I'm telling you guys. Hmm. I dig it. I dig it. The bowl's not getting hot. I could sip on this all day. It's great. Yeah, I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna have to run. I gotta run into Boston and drop an amp off to my amp guy. I need to get the caps done on a JCM 900 2501 combo. And after I drop it off, I'll run over to the Common. It's right on the Common in Park. I don't know if you guys know Boston at all, but it's right in Park Square. It's the oldest tobacconist in the country, I believe. It's definitely the oldest in Boston, and one of the oldest in the country, if not the oldest. I think it's the oldest. And the first time I went there, I was like, I'm never going back. One of the salesmen there was just a dink. Just like, oh, you don't like that? You must not like it. It's like, look, I'm just telling you what I don't like. Can you just tell me what I might like? Oh, if you don't like that, you won't like anything. I'm like, all right. And then whatever he sold me, that the other guy said, get this, when the guy was like, you're not gonna like it, I end up liking it a lot. Because I don't like Early Morning Pipe by Peterson. I just don't think it's a good tobacco. It's too sour. And he was like, oh, you're not gonna like in English, like Royal. And the other guy goes, you'll like Royal. I hate Early Morning Pipe too. This customer was next to me and he was like, so when I went back in, the guy who was working this time was a great guy. Just a super nice guy. Just, you know. I think this is done now. Nope, a little bit more left. Anyway, Johnny, I expect to see you with a pipe by next week. You're off cigarettes. Hmm. Yeah. My Charles Nelson Riley. Really good. Ah, what else, guys? Anything? Getting close to the end of this bowl. I don't know if anyone's saying anything. I can't see nothing. Oh, match game staple. Oh, okay. You are talking. I just. Yeah, it's all opinions. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. This was good. All right, guys, I'm going to call it because actually I got to call my buddy back real quick before I mosey on upstairs. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. Again, this is my Peterson Donegal Rocky 606, and I was smoking Tashkent. Cigar I had before that was a Rocky Patel Black Swan in the 6x60 Vitola. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Sean, have a great night. Johnny, have a great night. Everyone, have a great night. Very good.